When was the last time you just sat there and did nothing? No phone, no Netflix, no YouTube, no books, just you and your thoughts. We live in a wildly connected world, getting information from across the globe on demand, being bombarded with thousands of bits of information with every scroll for hours and hours every day. Yet your mind wasn't designed for this. It was designed to gather food, hunt animals, nurture relationships with your small community, and watch sunsets. And when our ancestors weren't doing any of these, they spent a lot of time doing nothing, being bored. One day of stimulation in the modern world would send your ancestors crazy, yet we still have the same brain as we did thousands of years ago. So can you really be surprised that when you sit down to work, your mind wanders and looks for every bit of distraction or stimulation that it can find? This is the exact reason you can't get anything done. The idea of sitting down to focus on one thing for even just 1 hour seems crazy to a modern mind that's used to seeing 5 new things every second with every scroll. But there is a solution. A solution that, when embraced regularly and purposefully, will eliminate your procrastination and allow you to outwork everyone. And that's to be more like your ancestors and to embrace being bored. Of course, you might have a family to feed and a job to work, so you can't just spend your entire day watching sunsets, gathering fruit and doing nothing, but you can utilize boredom to get ahead of the pack, to achieve your goals and to improve your quality of life. In a distracted world, boredom is a superpower. You see, it was likely that your ancestors' willingness to do nothing and be bored gave them the time, the space and the energy to be both creative and useful, to invent new things and to do the work that they had to do. They had a problem in their life that needed solved, and they had time to do nothing that gave them no other choice but to be bored and think of a solution and then try it. So in our modern world full of distractions pulling us away from the things that we need to do and the problems that we need to solve, the answer to facing them is to be bored. If you sit down in a room with a desk, a chair, a laptop and your phone, which are you more likely to focus on? The work or the device that pumps your brain full of unearned dopamine? No matter how disciplined you are, if there is something that can stimulate your mind more than the thing you're meant to be doing, eventually you'll give in. So the only option is the extreme option. If you want to outwork everybody else, give yourself no other choice but to do the damn work. Turn off your phone and remove the option to scroll. Install an app and website blocker on your computer and remove the option to check your emails. Because even the simple distraction of changing tasks is a form of procrastination that ruins your focus and takes you out of flow. But when you sit down in a room with just a desk, a chair and a laptop that gives you no other choice but to do the work you know you need to do, you only have 2 options. You either do the work or you do nothing and be bored. If you choose to do the work, that's great, of course. But if you do choose to do nothing and to embrace boredom, a beneficial state that is uncomfortable, eventually the discomfort of doing nothing will force you into action and you'll work. So if you want to outwork everyone, embrace boredom. Turn off your damn phone, sit down at your desk and give yourself the choice of either working or doing nothing. Because when everybody else has the option to scroll, the option to get distracted and to procrastinate, they will. But when you only have the option of doing the work or being bored and doing nothing, the end outcome is always you facing the work in front of you. Because if you allow yourself to be bored, eventually you doing nothing will turn into you doing something. And if you really want to take this to the next level, dedicate time every day to doing nothing. You see, the constant stimulation that we get from the modern world can make your mind feel overwhelmed. Remember, your brain was never designed to deal with this much information at one time, all the time. With this sense of overwhelm, you can feel what's best described as brain fog and a lack of clear thinking. You will struggle to see things clearly, you will struggle to think sharply, and life will be much more stressful than what it should be. Which of course is going to make you less likely to do the work, less likely to be consistent, and less likely to maximize the one life that you have. Your brain is struggling to deal with all the information it's taking in from your everyday life and from what matters, because it is being fried by the constant stream of massive amounts of information that you can get from the likes of your phone. So every single day, dedicate time to doing nothing. And I mean nothing. You can't sit there and scroll your phone, you can't sit there and watch a YouTube video, you can't even read a damn book, because all of these things are external stimuli that trigger your brain and don't give it time to recover. The goal is boredom. So when you're scheduling time to do nothing, the only 4 things that you're allowed to do are walk with no headphones and preferably in nature, meditate, journal, or sit there. The whole idea is that you give your mind time and space to think and to let it breathe and let it catch up and recover from the bombardment of stimulation that it's constantly getting. Now, the more time you can spend doing nothing, the better. 30 minutes will always be better than 10. But if you can only make time for 10 minutes of doing nothing, that's fine. Do what you can. What you're going to notice is that your mind is able to take time to breathe and to recover, and so it's less cluttered and your thinking becomes sharper. You will be able to think clearer with more intention and actually think better, which of course is going to literally change your life since your thinking dictates everything you do. If you can think sharper, you can make better decisions and take better actions faster. And if you think more clearly, you will have less brain fog, less overwhelm, and therefore less anxiety, because your mind can properly process the problems in your life, and with time to do nothing, you're much more likely to do the work that you need to do and solve the problems that you need to solve, which will remove at least 90% of all the worries you face. You'll also notice your creativity go through the roof, which if you are a creator, an artist, or anyone that does anything creative, this is crucial. When you do nothing, and especially when you reach and embrace boredom, you give your mind the space to make connections between old ideas in the back of your mind and new ideas in the front of your mind, so that you can make something unique, which is essentially all creativity is. You are clearing the path to allow new connections to be formed, but when you never give your mind time to do nothing and you're always stimulated, your mind is so much busier that it's almost impossible for these connections to find each other for something to be created. So every day, schedule at least 10 minutes, but honestly, schedule as much time as you can to do nothing each day. Once you see the benefits of increased productivity, increased clarity, and decreased anxiety, this time to do nothing and the idea of embracing boredom will be one of your favorite parts of the day. My friend, I have just released a new productivity course based entirely on my own productivity system that changed my life. If you struggle with productivity, if you struggle with facing the work that you know you need to do, if you struggle with procrastination, with focus, with knowing what to do to move forward towards your goals, if you struggle with anything to do with productivity, I can guarantee you that I struggled with that problem as well. I used to be massively unproductive, and this productivity system is what changed that for me and changed my entire life. So if you are interested in that, make sure you click the first link in the description below. And if it is still in launch week, you will be able to get a 35% discount. So, make use of it. Of course, don't feel obliged to do that at all. If you don't want to buy a course, don't buy a course, just consume my free content. But my friend, as always, thank you for watching. Click that subscribe button, check out this video here, and I will see you in the next one.